You know, when you come, I mean, that's 38 games unbeaten here for Manchester City. So when you come here as the opposing team, you need everything to go for you. You need a little bit of luck. You need them to have an off day. And when you get chances or half chances, Shears said it. Isak had a really good chance first off, didn't put it in.
Yeah, he did.
Isak had another half chance in the second half, poor touch, nothing. And then Dan Burn gave up an opportunity to have a shot from the edge of the box, half chance again. You have to take those, albeit they're half chances. You have to take them if you're expecting to go away from here with the right result.
The truth is, Newcastle's problem was the draw. Away at Manchester City.
Yeah. They've actually had no luck this year in any draw. Champions League, League Cup, or the FA Cup. I mean, it's the toughest draw, isn't it, away to Manchester City?
Yeah. I think Eddie Howe said, didn't he say that he nearly crashed his car?
Is that what he said?
When the draw was in. I mean, I get that. It's the one everyone wants to avoid now. It's to come here.
Yeah. Of course. Are you back on Man City side now, or you? Where do your allegiances lie?
Does the BBC want me for the semi-final or not? No, Newcastle's day will come, Gary, at some point, I'm sure.
No, it will. It will. You know, possibly.
It better come soon.
It's been a hell of a long way.
Oh, it has.
It really has.
It has.
I mean, let's have a look at the first. Both goals were deflections. I mean, it's painful for you to watch because, I mean, they were.
Yeah, as I said,
you said, they were. I mean, there was good play in the build-up, but they were lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they dominated possession and they were a threat. There's no doubt about it. And the way they move the ball and find their positions, it is exceptional. But I mean, you're a yard out of position. And because of that, you're then under pressure. But they react well because you can see Willock's trying to stop the ball going into Haaland, but then Silva moves. And okay, they shove him onto his right side, which perhaps he doesn't want to go on. But it's a huge slice of luck with the deflection. There's nothing the goalkeeper can do about it. And all of a sudden, early in the game, you're up against it.
Yeah. And the second goal wasn't too dissimilar, was it, in a way? I mean, it moved to the similar area of the pitch, deflection, and it just went under Dubravka's legs, didn't it, as well?
Yeah. Well, it's St Patrick's Day tomorrow, Gary, so maybe Bernardo Silva's turning the ricochet this weekend. Two deflected goals, perhaps. But, yeah, I mean, there's definitely an element of luck on both goals. There's no getting away from that. But again, we said the couple of half chances in Newcastle, if you don't shoot, you don't score, Gary. And again, it takes a deflection off Botman. Can they get closer? Can they stop the shot? Don't turn your back on it as well, by the way. And get to the ball. You know, if you hit you in the face or whatever, take it. And it's lucky in the end of things.
Look how high Man City are, though. They push you back. You talked about Newcastle's shape and what would they do, but it's very hard when Man City push everyone up and you've got players who can keep the ball like they do, move it quick. It was always going to be difficult for Newcastle.
You mentioned Botman there about unlucky with a header. He hasn't looked the same player. He had a brilliant season last season. He hasn't looked the same player.
Carrying injury?
And really, it looks as if he's been carrying injury for a long time. He came back into the team after a while out, and he hasn't been the same player that we saw last year. And he's gone off with an injury today, knee injury. And I do hope he's okay.
Doku, we talked about him at half-time, didn't he? He's an interesting talent. He's got that push and go, hasn't he? That little check and that rapid turn of pace. Didn't quite have the end product today.
Yeah, I think he's still learning, still 21, getting in these positions here. And what was strange about his positioning today, we've seen him on the left, but today, I don't know if Pep said to him, go in that middle and try and cause havoc from that position. And it was so interesting to see. We talked about Newcastle's shape and what they would do, but he was still allowed to get in. I don't know what Newcastle's game plan was in terms of stopping a Foden and a Doku, but they had too much space and opportunities to make a difference in the game. Of course, we know they're a great side, but yeah, I think it's just that final bit with Doku. But it was exciting today. It really was.
Yeah. Isak had a couple of opportunities. You talked about them, Alan, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes in games like this, you get scraps, don't you? And you've got to make those scraps count. And he couldn't quite manage it.
The first one was a really good opportunity, and he should have put it away. With the season that he's having in front of goal, when he has been fit, you'd expect him to tuck it away. It's on his left foot, and he does well to keep it down, and it's a good save. But you need that to be going in. That then you're thinking, okay, we're back in the game here. We've got a chance. Then they win the ball at the pitch, high up at the pitch. Their pressing's really good, and his touch lets him down here. There's not many times we've said that this season, but his first touch lets him down. He's then got to go wide, which is what Man City want to do. If he takes the touch out of his feet, gets his shot away, then again, for a player of his ability, be really disappointed with that first touch.
Where does Eddie Howe stand now, Alan? I mean, he's had a brilliant first season, didn't he? But this season's been...
It's been really tough. I think there have been mitigating circumstances when you talk about the injuries, particularly to Pope, particularly to Joe Linton. Those two players they've really, really missed because they add so much to that team. But I think I know he's got enough in the bank, and he'll be the manager at Newcastle next season, whatever happens, whether they finish mid-table or whether they're able to get a place somewhere in Europe. But he's got enough in the bank for what he did last season. They've got that belief in him, I think, and so he should do.
Do you think perhaps he's suffering a little bit for his success last season? I know they didn't win anything, but I mean, they were way ahead of where people thought they would be.
There's an argument they overachieved last season, so then the drop-off this season is probably natural. And Al rightly says there's been key injuries to big players, Joe Linton, Nick Pope, even Callum Wilson probably deserves a mention for his goals. So I think there is plenty of credit in the bank for Eddie Howe. I think that the fans like him. But yes, when you're out of the cup, all the cups, and you're sort of sitting mid-table, there will be question marks. But for me, he's the man to move the club forward.
They've had tough draws in all cup competitions as well, haven't they? Even the Champions League, they were in the hardest group of all, weren't they?
Well, they will. But I mean,
smiling for?
You're playing the Champions League, like you said, they've done well. You're going to get hard teams, but in the cup competitions, I would say so.
I would say, although that he needs fresh players to come in during the summer. They need that opportunity to get a few out, which they need to, and they need a new set of legs coming in. But there are a lot of players who have certainly not hit the heights this season from last season. At least 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. Okay. One player who has hit the heights this season, Phil Foden, Michael.
He's just immaculate, isn't he? He does everything right. And the big question mark was, how could he react when, Kevin De Bruyne comes back into the side? Kevin De Bruyne wasn't playing today. And even when Kevin De Bruyne has come into the side, his standards have not dropped. We always talk about that pocket of space, and we've got so many Newcastle players, but he still finds a way. His touch, he obviously wants the return pass there. He can come deep and link play and then running behind as well. I just think his all-round game now is just brilliant, and it's great to see. Look at that for a touch. It's just extraordinary. I mean, he's done everything at City in terms of winning trophies, but it's his performances when you become one of the main men in the team. His movement's a lot better now. He's demanding of the balls a lot, taking responsibility. He's got absolutely everything in the bag. And a long way to continue, because obviously we've got the Euros coming up, and it's finding a way to get him in the side where he can make a difference. And right now, his confidence is so high.
I think in that position now as well.
He has to start for England.
Oh, I don't think that's not a debate, is it?
He makes receiving that ball in tight situations. He makes it look ridiculously easy. His ability to either side.
In that position, he just dominates games, and sometimes he has to stay. He plays in the wing for Man City, maybe for England as well. And sometimes he feels like I need to get part of it. He said himself, "I feel alive when I'm in the middle," and that's his position. He has to play centre.
Okay, let's get a Manchester City reaction to their victory this evening. It's from Jeremy Doku.
Jeremy, congratulations. Victory today, through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and a pretty good performance from yourself as well. How good did that feel?
It felt well. I'm happy with the performance of the team. I'm happy with the performance of myself. It's been a while that I'm looking for my best form. I think I'm getting better and better. The team played well. We did exactly what the coach wanted us to do. And we scored some nice goals. I don't know if it was nice goals, but we scored important goals, and we had a lot of chances. So we defended well, we attacked well, so very happy.
Did you feel as in control as it looked Manchester City were in this tie?
Yeah, we were in control, but you never know. You always have to be careful with the counter-attacks. We know they have some fast players, and they want to run in behind. So we have to be careful for that. But I think the defenders did it very well, and we came back to help them as well. So they did a good job.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Sarah Mulcairn putting the questions there to Jeremy Doku. There's One other FA Cup quarter-final place took today, and it was a classic with Championship side Coventry coming from behind with 2 goals deep in stoppage time to win at Wolves. Tomorrow Chelsea host the Super Foxes in a repeat of the 2021 final. Join us on BBC One for that from 12:20, while Manchester United and Liverpool renew their rivalry. You can see every FA Cup goal on the BBC Sport website and app. In the Premier League today, Luton scored late to draw with Forest, and there were wins for Burnley and Fulham. 4th place Villa visit West Ham tomorrow. Match of the Day is on BBC One tonight at 10:30. The treble repeat, is that even conceivable? Well, it is conceivable now.
It is.
Just them being in the hat for it is amazing itself. Yeah. Whether they'll do it, who knows?
Yeah, it's extraordinary. I mean, what they're doing,
brilliant. They're
it would
brilliant
be.
team.
I mean, the arguments, aren't they, always about what's the greatest, team or Premier League team in history? But back-to-back trebles of that would say something, wouldn't it, Shay?
They've put themselves in a great position.
I mean, Pep said himself it would be a fairy tale, but they've got a real chance. The squad of players they have, and even Premier League, if they go 4 times Premier League champions this year, it's never been done before. So they're breaking every single record.
They've got great depths in that squad as well, haven't they? If they can kind of cope with a couple of big injuries.
I think they can. I think it's because of the system. I think we talk about players and what they can bring to the squad, but it's Pep, isn't it? And his system and everyone buying into what he wants to do. Yeah. That's what makes him so great.
Yeah, well, that's just about it. Thank you, Mike. Shay. Alan, it will happen. It will happen one day. Yeah. One day it will happen. That's it from us. As Bernardo's home form keeps them on path for more silverware. Goodbye.
عن طريق المديرين الرياضيين. هل ريسكاتي كلها ان انا مشكلتي ان اشيل المدرب او اجيب لاعب غالي؟ كان دايما يقول لك مالك كان اسمها ايه، اير اسيا بتاعه الطيران، لما بعد كده اشترى كان فيرونتينا اعتقد ولا كان نادي ايه في ايطاليا، كان بيتكلم بيقول لك اداره شركه الطيران اسهل بكتير من اداره نادي في انجلترا. كان لا اشترى نادي في انجلترا، ميدلسبرا باين ولا مش فاكر بصراحه المعلومه. لان بيقول لك في الشركه الموضوع عندي كنترولد، ان انا عارف بشتري ايه وبكسب ايه وبخسر ايه. لكن بيقول لك انا بعمل كل التفاصيل وانا بشتري النادي، وفي الاخر بيقرر مدرب و11 لاعب مصير كل اللي انا عملته. يا في الاخر الجمهور يقلب عليا ويقول لك انت فاشل ومشروعك فاشل، لازم تمشي، لازم تجيب لي المهاجم الفلاني، لازم تجيب لعيب الوسط الفلاني، لازم تمشي المدرب، لازم تجيب المدرب الفلاني. فبيقول لك انا في الاخر كل الكنترول اللي انا كنت بعمله وبحاول اعمله بيضيعوا لي 11 واحد في الملعب، يا اما ينجحوا لي 11 واحد في الملعب. ده بالظبط حل تشيلسي حاليا. ولذلك تاني برجع من كلام سايمون كوبر ده على مالك هذا النادي، واستنتاجي الشخصي على اني، ودايما هفرض حسن النيه ليهم، ان اقبالي وتود بويلي عندهم النيه الجيده لصنع شيء لتشيلسي، ولكن الطقم اللي تحتهم هو اللي فيه الشر، هو اللي فيه الرؤيه الخاطئه لتشيلسي. هفرض دي ودي وهقول لك يا عم ما هو فعلا انا ستيل عندي مشاكل في 11 لاعب وعندي مشاكل في مدرب. ولذلك ديفيد اورنستون يعني ان لاين مع الخبر بتاع ان ماوريسيو بوتشينيو مكمل، طلع بخبر ان سيكون صيف مزدحم جدا. 2 عقلياتهم بتلعب مونوبولي، احنا هنبيع ونشتري اكتر من تحقيق الانجاز. هل تشيلسي محتاج لعيبه بالشكل اللي هو يخليك تقول ان ده صيف مزدحم؟ انا بقسم بالله لا، انا اقسم لك بالله لا. وعشان ما تبيعش الوهم للجمهور مش هيكون مزدحم. انت عندك مشاكل في اللعب النظيف، مش هتعرف تشتري زي ما انت فاكر. انت صيفك المزدحم عباره انك تبيع 5 لعيبه. ده رقم 1. رقم 2، هل ضمان الصيف المزدحم لو جبت لعيبه انك تنجح مع هذا المدرب؟ مش عايز احلف تاني ان الجمهور عارف انك لو جبت اوزمن استيل عندك نسبه ريسك كبيره جدا لفشله. بص وصلت لايه؟ بص انت وصلت الرؤيه بتاعتك لشعار النادي، هل انت شايفه برايتون موناكو ولا شايفه تشيلسي؟ بص انت وصلت النادي لايه. احنا كنا عارفين اللعيب اللي بيجي يندمج في وسط منظومه تشيلسي بينجح. انا دلوقتي هروح اجيب افضل لاعب في افريقيا، افضل لاعب في الدوري الايطالي، وصيف كاس الامم الافريقيه، واحطه في تشيلسي ومش ضامن انه ينجح. كنت بجيب دروجبا اسم مش معروف وبص كسر الدنيا معايا. انت متخيل احنا وصلنا لمرحله ايه في التقزيم بتاع الفريق؟ فانا النهارده رايح اتكلم على زي الفيديو بتاع الاستاذ بوتشينيو لما بيتكلم على توظيف كايسيدو وتوظيف انزو. طبعا ده عبث، هنبقى نتكلم عليه بالتفصيل يعني، واهدار لطاقات الاثنين. بجانب اهدار طاقات كايسيدو وطاقات انزو، طاقه تشوكوميكا، نكونكو، مودريك، توظيف ديزيسيل غلط، توظيف كولويل اللي انا متاكد ان كولويل ده حتى رغم ان انا مش بحبه ممكن يطلع منه حاجات احسن لو مع مدرب تاني مع خطه تاني. ويوم ما نيجي نستقر، طب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ده الفرقه شابه واعده عندها 50,000 مشكله، نعمل ايه؟ نستقر في التشكيل. مفيش استقرار في التشكيل. يوم ما نستقر على قلوب الدفاع، يوم بالضالين ما نقول يلا تياجو سيلفا بره، حط ديساسي وحط كولويل، يلعبوا اول مباراه 4 ورا، تاني مباراه يلعبوا 3 ورا. طب هم يا ابني مش فاهمين اصلا يعني. انا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لازم اثبت، يعني لازم اثبت. لذلك بشوف ناس مثلا بتهاجم اهو تياجو سيلفا قعد، ايه اللي اتحسن في الفرقه؟ ما هي ما تتحسبش كده يا صاحبي، ما هي ما تتحسبش كده يا صاحبي. لازم تتحسب انا ثبت قد ايه فين. هو انا بس احط كولويل وديساسيفا كده اللهم صل على النبي كده الدنيا بقت تمام والخطه ثبتت؟ لا مثبتهم في الباكات حواليهم، ولا مثبتهم في خطه 4 ورا، ولا انا عارف خطه 3 ورا. نفس الفكره يعني مثلا عبد الرحمن طلعت، انا اتفرجت على الفيديو التحليل بتاعه بتاع مباراه برينتفورد وهو بيتكلم على فيروس 3-5-2. انا مثلا اختلف مع عبد الرحمن. ليه؟ الفكره العيب مش في الخطه، يعني العيب مش في الخطه ولا الميزه في الخطه. يعني لا مثلا العيب في 3-5-2 ولا ميزه لو لعبت 4-2-3-1. فكره ادوار وتوظيف اللعيبه مش عند اللعيبه. ولذلك انا بتفرج على بوتشينيو او تشيلسي بوتشينيو انا بفقد كل قدرات اللعيبه. انا مره بفتي وبشوف مدرك وحش على الشمال، طبعا ده بعد سلسال من ان بين تشيلويل هو اللي بيلعب اصلا جناح، ما علينا. فحط مدرك صانع لعب، بعدين جاكسون عنده مشكله في الانهاء، حط لي جاكسون بقى جناح شمال. بعد كده عندي توظيف مشكله، العب بديساسي باك يمين. بعد كده لا كولويل باك شمال. بعد كده انزو ورا كايسيدو. بعد كده جاليجر مكان انزو. بعد كده جاليجر قدام وانزو ورا قدام كايسيدو بس مش جنبه. بالمر اتوظف مهاجم وهمي. انا ما فيش لاعب عندي ثبت في اول حاجه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، اثبت على تشكيله تطلع حتى قدرات اللعيبه، تتعود قدرات اللعيبه انها تطلع. يعقل 27 جوله ما لاقيش لاعب عندي وحد الله مستواه التطور، ولا حارس المرمى حتى. انت بتتكلم في ايه؟ انت بتتكلم في بقاء مين؟ ولا صيف ساخن بتاع ايه؟ ولا ده هيفرق ولا ده هيفرق. والعقليه بتاعه الانهزام ليست عقليه بوتشينيو فقط، العقليه جايه من اللي فوق بوتشينيو. هم بصلك كانك انت برايتون وموناكو. ولذلك انا بطلع من الريسك بخش في ضحضيره، بطلع من نقره بخش في ريسك. اروح جيرهام بوتر، اروح اغير، بدل ما اروح اجيب واحد اليت، لا ده انا اروح اجيب لامبارد، اضيع تلت موسم سمعتي تبقى زي الزفت، فيبقى اسوأ واحد ممكن يجي لي، ويوم ما القدر يبتسم لك ويقول لك تعالى انريكي او نايجلزمان، يبقى فرق التوقيت بتاعك يتدخل زي فيلم انترستيلر بتاع نولان، ونروح مختارين بوتشينيو. طب القدر بيديك فرصه تاني، ده احنا النتائج مفيش اوحش من كده، ده احنا الاداء مفيش اوحش من كده، ده احنا الروح مفيش اوحش من كده، ده احنا التصريحات مفيش اوحش من كده، ده احنا اللعيبه قيمتها التسويقيه بتقل، مفيش اوحش من كده. لا والله العظيم لا ينجدد الثقه فيه. طب يا عم انت عايز ايه؟ كيف ستنجح وانت بهذه العقليه؟ ازاي هتنجح؟ انت لو انت طالع فرحان بالنقطه قدام برينتفورد، لو طالع فرحان بالاداء قدام ليفربول والطاقه اللي خلصت في ال90 دقيقه، لو طالع فرحان بالتعادل امام مانشستر سيتي، يبقى خلاص. انا بحكي في ايه وانت بتحرق دمك في ايه كمشاهد؟ خلاص كده ملهاش لازمه. وتطلع من اموريم على تشابي على انزاجي على كله ريسكات. هل الاثنين اللي موجودين في التعيينات يروحوا يعينوا حد بشخصيه فائزه، شخصيه بطوليه، شخصيه تحقق انتصار؟ لا، هيروح يجيب لك اموريم مثلا. مش بقول ان اموريم وحش ولا بتاع، بس فاكرين لايف الجمعه اتكلمت لك ان بواش كان كسبان ثلاثيه، جه تشيلسي ما عرفش يتعامل مع العقليه دي. مدرب متحدي، مدرب يعرف يقود ويطلع قدرات من اللعيبه، مش انك تروح تجيب كمان لعيبه. وانا مش هصرف مليار تاني يا حبيبي عشان اشتغل اجيب بيها المركز الرابع واقول لك والله وزن الخامس السادس اتحسنا عن الموسم اللي فات. عايز تتخلص من ما يحدث في تشيلسي، تخلص من الاثنين بتوع التعيينات. هات عقليه فائزه، هات عقليه ما تخافش لو جبت لها واحد متحدي، ما تخافش لو دخلت في صدام مع مدرب، ما تخافش لو قاعده شغاله وهي تحت الضغط. لكن الناس في التعيينات مش حاسين باي ضغط. والله ده احنا معانا وقت، الفرقه شابه، اصل الفرقه بتتحسن، المدرب بيتحسن، اصل الدنيا تمام، وكله بونو. لا هو مش كله بونو الحقيقه، احنا في وضع وحش. والهيريتج او الارث، انت من النقطه دي كاس العالم للانديه وبطوله اوروبا انت عمال تبعد عنها. كل ما تبعد عنها صديقي العزيز كل ما الارث بتاعك بيقل، كل ما الديجنيتي والكرامه بتاعتك بتقل، كل ما الفرق تهابك